welcome to another episode of Ask Britt Shit. If I seem a little emotionally exhausted or just exhausted in general, it's because I just got done playing a little game called Emily Wants to Play, and that game will fuck you up, man. Oh god. Nope. I've already had plenty of whiskey, so I'm not going to be drinking anymore during this video. So if you have a beverage, cheers to you, my friend. Hope you enjoy. Oh god, have you guys played that game yet? Emily Wants to Play? Fuck. No! 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 If there's something I learned today, ladies and gentlemen, it is that I cannot play scary horror titles, whatever the fuck you want to call them, and do videos in the same day because it literally just saps, like, my energy and my sanity. So I figured I would record the least formal of all of my videos because I know you guys don't give a fuck and I don't give a fuck, and it's gorgeous and wonderful and beautiful. Our first question comes from Anna Kirch. Will you be playing The Elder Scrolls 6 on console or PC when it comes out? Also, what is your favorite Skyrim mod? Mine is turning dragons into Thomas the Tank Engine. Hearing toot toot in the woods at night is terrifying. That sounds amazing. I will probably be playing on console just because I work on a computer all day, so it's refreshing and nice to put my ass on a couch and lean back on a nice recliner with a controller in my hand. I do prefer PC gaming in the sense of like control, and I feel like you have like, it's just like driving a stick shift versus an automatic, right? You just have more control over what you're doing and how you're doing things. But in terms of relaxation, I definitely like to use console gaming. I like to use consoles, so console. As far as mods go, I have to be honest and tell you guys that I've never played with a mod before, but I know that's a shame because I've heard there's many amazing mod out there to try and to tinker. I was gonna say tinker and dink with, and it turned into dinker. Yes, so I've heard there's many mods to dinker with, but I haven't tried them, and any of them for myself. Oh, I can't talk. I blame that fucking game. It's still like taking up 10% of my RAM. So even though I'm talking to you right now, I'm partially thinking about that game. Oh god. Our next question comes from Pedro Colunga. I hope I said that right. Thoughts on Final Fantasy 15? Good game, bad game? Would you recommend it? I'm on the fence about this one. And what game hooked you to gaming? Well, Pedro, my friend, I did a Final Fantasy 15 review, and I will not link that because I'm too lazy, but if you go to my channel and you search for Final Fantasy 15, I'm sure you will find it. And if I'm not feeling lazy, I will try to link it below. In a nutshell, I think it's a fantastic game. I think you should definitely play it if you are a fan of Final Fantasy games or just role-playing games in general. I think it's a great ride, and there are some things that could have been improved upon. I feel like part of the story was left out, and now it's coming as DLC, whatever. But nonetheless, I definitely would recommend it. Absolutely. It is an emotional roller coaster and a very, very good one, very mature Final Fantasy game. Definitely would recommend it. The game that got me into gaming, I feel like I may have answered this recently, but the first game I ever played was Super Mario World, and that was with my dad when I was 5. Probably the game that really got me into gaming. Well, the game that got me into RPGs was Super Mario RPG. It was my first RPG. I had no idea what the fuck I was doing. I called my aunt. I'm like, what am I doing? Why do I keep dying? She's like, oh, you have to level up. And I was like, oh my god, that's such a cool concept. And I was hooked ever since. So definitely Super Mario RPG, I think, hooked me. But Super Mario World was like my first game, and I was like, this is a really cool thing. Yeah. Next question comes from Juan Chavez, sorry, I suck. Being a gamer, do mess-ups in gaming conferences turn you away from a game that is being showed off? For example, when a game crashes during a live demo. So it's always awkward when some shit goes wrong during a live demo, especially when you're at like E3 and it's being streamed to who knows how many freaking people. Especially when you're in the audience, it's 10 times more awkward. But the thing is, everyone gets it. I mean, everyone just gets it. It's technology. There's a lot of weird things happening with everyone in there on their cell phones and whatever the hell excuses that they've fed me that I now believe. But for some reason, shit just doesn't work sometimes. And the most embarrassing time I can think of was when I was at my very first? No, it might not have been. It was Nintendo's E3 press conference back when they held press conferences in the Nokia Center in Los Angeles during E3. And it was either my first or second. And they were demoing, I can never remember the name of the Zelda game, and I don't know why. Oh my god, it's happening again. Skyward Sword. I don't know what my problem is, but I can never ever remember the the name of that. Anyway, Shigeru Miyamoto came on stage and he was demoing Skyward Sword and he was trying to show off the motion controls or something with the Wiimote and the nunchuck, and for some reason there was really bad interference and he could not like get it to work. They weren't tracking properly, and it was just really, really awkward and embarrassing, and I was like 5 rows from the front, and so I was right there, and I'll never ever forget that. God. Emily wants to play with you. Last but certainly not least comes from Robert Stone. If you find games at a local chain video game store for $1 and you see the game has bad reviews, do you pass on it or buy it for the collection anyway? So if it's a local chain means it's not like a huge corporate brand, so I absolutely think it's good to support those companies however you can. So yeah, I would definitely buy it for that reason, but also you really can't beat a $1 video game, and especially if it's not in my collection already. I absolutely will want it, and that's why I end up with so many weird, wonky games that I show you guys on my video game hauls. Like, I don't know what this game is, but I bought it because it was $1, and that's kind of the story of my life. So absolutely I will buy it just to have it in the collection, even if it's a bad game, because I found more often than not that I don't agree with most reviews on games. Like, there's certain things that turn reviewers off, and those same things don't turn me off, so there's a good chance I might like it myself. I'm definitely like a what's the word I'm looking for? A preacher of form your own opinion and don't just go off of what reviewers and critics say. Well, friends, that'll do it for this episode of Ask Britt Shit. Sorry, I'm not as energetic, but I am so exhausted from that goddamn game. If you have any questions, feel free to post them wherever. I know I like kind of go back and forth on where you can send these questions, but just fuck it, post them wherever, and I'll do my best to scrape them up and put them in my Word documents. Alright guys, have a rad-tastical weekend, and I will see you soon. Bye!